ago, in the land of Umuaka, there lived a powerful king named Obi Ude. His palace was white like the morning sun. His throne was made of gold, and his people rejected him more than anyone else. But there was one thing that troubled the king deeply. He had everything: gold, warriors, silver, land, and wives, but he had no child. Every morning when he woke up and walked through the palace courtyard, he heard the laughter of children from the village. They run around with joy, praying with stones and singing songs. The king's heart grew heavily, for his palace was silent. No child called him father. Many times he sits alone in the moonlight, staring at the sky. He asked himself, what use is a crown if no son or daughter will inherit it after me? Who will remember my name when I'm gone? The people of Maka whispered in the market palace. Some said, our king has angered the gods. That is why he has no child. Others said maybe one of his wives had hidden charms to stop the others from giving birth. And still others said, without a child, who will rule when the king dies? Our land may fall into war. The whisper reached the ears of King Obi Ude, and his sorrow grew deeply. One day the king called all his chiefs and elders to the palace. His voice shook as he spoke. My father, my mothers, my people, you all know my pain. For many years I have prayed, yet the gods have not blessed me with a child. Tell me, what must I do? I cannot carry this band alone. The oldest chief, Obuefi Mado, rose slowly. His voice was sharp like an elder's wisdom. My king, children are gifts from the spirit world. If the gods have closed the wombs of your wives, then maybe the gods are testing your hearts. There is a shrine beyond the seven rivers, guarded by the priestess of the hills. There, say, she holds the secrets of life and death. If you go to her with humility, maybe the gods will answer. The god, the king nodded. Through his heart was unsure, but he was ready to do anything. At dawn the next morning, King Obiodu set out with his guides and servants. They crossed forests where Lampard road, rivers was crocodile waited, and mountains where the wind howled like spirits. Finally, they reached the shrine of the hills. The priestess was an old woman with white chalk on her body and in her hair. Her eyes shone like fire as she looked at the king. Obiodo, she said, you are a great king, but kindness and greatness is not measured by thrones of riches. You desire a child, but do you know what it means to be a father? The king bowed his head. Mother of the hills, I only asked for a child who will carry my name. The priestess laughed softly. Then listen well. You will have a child, but the child will not come as you accept. Remember the gods' gifts, but there are also tests. She gave him a small calabash filled with secret and sacred water and said, go home. When the moon is full, pour this water into the palace well. Then wait. What you desire will come. The king returned home, his heart beating with hope. That night, when the moon shone like silver, he poured the sacred water into the palace wall. The next morning, something strange happened. A little boy was found sleeping beside the wall, wrapped in white cloth, his skin glowing like the morning sun. No one knew where he came from. The king's wife claimed no bites. The villagers claim no missing child. The king lifted the boy in his arms. Tears rolled down his face. At last, the gods have answered me. This is my son. But the old priestess word returned to him. The gods gifts, but there are also tests. The palace of Omaka was no longer silent. The little boy, he came from the war filled with laughter. His name was Obina, meaning the father's heart. Obina grew fast. By the age of 5, he was already bold, asking questions no one could answer. He would walk into the king's chamber without fear, climb onto the throne, and laughed. The people of Omaka rejoiced. They said, "Our king now has um yes, the gods has blessed us. The throne of Obi will not be empty." But as Obina grows, strange things began to happen. At night, the boy of 10 disappeared. Servants would search the palace, calling Obina, Obina, only to find him sitting by the palace wall, staring into the water as if speaking to unknown spirits. Sometimes, when other children cried, Obina laughed. When others played, he sits alone, drawing strange symbols of the ground. And when the king asked, "My son, who taught you those things?" Obina only smiled and said, "Father, the water speaks to me." The king grew widely and worried, but his love for the boy blinded him. He said to himself, "All children behave strangely at times. He is still young. He will grow and change." But the elders whispered among themselves, "Did this child truly come from the gods, or did he come from the spirits that draw in the deep? Will he save our land or destroy it?" One day during the annual festival of the Yam, the whole village gathered in the palace guard. There was drumming, dancing, and feasting. The king sat proudly with Obina beside him. The boy was now 10 years old, tall and bright. As the drummer played, Obina suddenly stood up. He walked into the middle of the crowd and lifted his hands. The drums stopped on their own. True, no drummer touched them. The talking drum spoke by itself, saying word in the voice of a man. The child of the war is not a child of men. He belongs to the spirit, breathing the water. When he grows, the kingdom will face its greatness. The people gasped, mother, hold their children close. The drummer filled with their instruments. The king rose in anger. Who dares speak against my son? But deep inside his heart, that night Obi Ude could not sleep. He remembered the word of the prophets. The gods gifts, but they are also tests. He called his chief secretly and asked, "Tell me the truth. Do you believe Obina is my true son?" Chief Obiofimade, the others man, speak slowly. "My king, the boy is not ordinary. A child who came from the war is not like other children. If you keep them be ready. His destiny will shape not only your place and palace, but the whole land." The king pressed his hands to his head. "But he is my only child. Should I throw away the gift of the gods?" The chief were silent. None dared to answer. Years passed, and Obina grew into a young man. His wisdom was sharp, his voice deep, and his eyes carried a strange fire. The people feared him, but they also respected him. For whenever the land faced trouble, sickness, or war, Obina would go to the palace wall, whisper to it, and returned with answers. Once, when the river dried up, he spoke to the wall, rain fell that every night, and the rivers overflowed. Another time, when enemies attacked, Obina stood before them with only a staff, and the earth scattered the enemies like leaves in the wind. The people began to say, "True, this is not ordinary prince. He carries the power of the spirits, but with power came fear." Some mother warned their children never to play near the palace, saying, "That boy is not like us. He belongs to the water people." Even son of the king's wife whispered behind his back. This child is a spirit, not flesh and blood. Can such a child ever rule a land of men?